Good day everyone! For today's video, we will be talking about the reading and analysis of the proclamation of the Philippine independence.
So, the Philippine independence was officially declared on June 12, 1898 in Cavite, a historic event that marked the end of more than 3 centuries of Spanish rule over the Philippines. So, this proclamation is a pivotal moment in the country's history as it signified the birth of the Filipino nation. However, despite its importance, many students are unfamiliar with the actual content of the declaration document. So, the document itself, though brief at around 2,000 words, is rich in detail. It explains the reasons behind the revolution against Spain and the desire for freedom. It also sheds light on the kind of government that Emilio Aguinaldo, the leader of the revolution, intended to establish, a government that would ensure the country's independence and sovereignty. So, additionally, the document subtly hints at the upcoming involvement of the United States in the Philippines. This involvement will later lead to the Philippine-American War as the struggle for true independence continued even after the proclamation. So, understanding the contents of this document helps to appreciate the complexities of the time and the challenges faced by the new republic under Aguinaldo's leadership. It's not just a declaration of independence, it's a summary of the revolution, the sacrifices made, and the hopes for the future of the Filipino people. So, before we proceed on the content of the document of the proclamation of the Philippine independence, let's talk about first the background context of the document. So, before the proclamation of the Philippines had been under Spanish rule since 1565. So, by the late 19th century, Filipino revolutionaries led by figures like Andres Bonifacio and later Emilio Aguinaldo were fighting for independence from Spain. So after the outbreak of the Philippine Revolution in 1896, the struggle intensified, and by 1898, the outbreak of the Spanish-American War, the situation was ripe for a Declaration of Independence. So, on June 12, 1898, General Emilio Aguinaldo, who had become the leader of the Filipino revolutionaries, formally declared the Philippines' independence. So, the event took place at his ancestral home in Kawit, Cavite, in front of a crowd of revolutionaries, local leaders, and civilians. So, the actual proclamation, known as the Acta de la Proclamación de Independencia del Pueblo Filipino, was written by Ambrosio Rianzares Bautista, who also served as Aguinaldo's advisor. So, the document declared the independence of the Philippines from Spanish rule, and it was read aloud by Bautista during the ceremony. So, the proclamation outlined the reasons for seeking independence, emphasizing the injustices and abuses suffered under Spanish rule. So, these are the key moments. After the proclamation was read, the newly designed Philippine flag, which had been sewn in Hong Kong by Marcela Agoncillo, Lorenza Agoncillo, and Delfina Herbosa de Natividad, was unfurled for the first time. So the flag was raised on the balcony of Aguinaldo's home, symbolizing the birth of a new nation. So for the first time, the national anthem, Marcha Filipina Magtalo, composed by Julian Felipe, was played by the San Francisco de Malabon Marching Band. So this anthem later became known as Lupang Hinirang. So the reading of the proclamation was a symbolic, crucial step in the struggle for independence. It demonstrated the Filipinos' desire to be free and self-governing, and it rallied the people around the cause of independence. Although it would take several more years and further conflict before the Philippines would achieve full recognition as an independent nation, June 12, 1898 is remembered as the birth of the Philippine nation. So despite the proclamation, the struggle for independence was far from over. Like Spain ceded the Philippines to the United States in the Treaty of Paris later in 1898, leading to the Philippine-American War. It wasn't until July 4, 1946 that the Philippines finally achieved full independence from the United States, but June 12 is celebrated as Independence Day to honor the initial declaration of freedom from Spanish rule.
Now, let's proceed to the content of the document of the Proclamation of the Philippines Independence. So, the proclamation commences with a characterization of the conditions in the Philippines during the Spanish colonial period. So, the document specifically mentioned abuses and inequalities in the colony. So, the declaration says this passage.
So the passage highlights the reason why the Filipinos decided to revolt against Spanish rule. It points out several injustices that the people experienced. First, the passage mentions the harsh treatment by the civil guards who were known for abusing their power. They even went as far as unlawfully shooting prisoners, claiming that these prisoners were trying to escape even when they were not. It also talks about how the law was unfair, favoring influential people, while ordinary Filipinos did not receive the same level of protection or justice. The passage further criticizes the greed of the religious leader, such as the friars and even the archbishop, who were more interested in their own wealth and power than in helping the people. So additionally, the passage condemns the unjust deportation of individuals and other unfair decisions made by the authorities, decisions that lack proper reasoning or fairness. So these actions were seen as unacceptable and unworthy of any nation that considers itself civilized. This sense of injustice and mistreatment fueled the people's desire to fight for their rights and freedom from Spanish rule. So the proclamation provides a brief history of the Spanish occupation from Magellan's arrival in Visayas to the Philippine Revolution. So the Pact of Biak na Bato was a significant agreement during the Philippine Revolution, but it eventually fell apart. This collapse is seen as an important moment because it showed the ongoing struggle and determination of the Filipino people to gain independence from Spanish rule. So after the failure of the pact, the revolution spread quickly, much like an electric spark across various towns and provinces. Areas like Bataan, Pampanga, Batangas, Bulacan, Laguna, and Morong become hotbeds of revolutionary activity. As the movement gained momentum, the Spanish forces began to weaken rapidly in these regions. This decline in Spanish control allowed the revolution to extend even to the Visayas, bringing the country closer to achieving its goal of independence. So, one of the most unjust and tragic events during this period was the execution of Jose Rizal. So the document criticizes this act, blaming it on the greedy body of rioters who wanted revenge. So Rizal is a national hero, was wrongfully accused and executed, an act that went against the legal procedures or penal code of the time. So his death fueled the anger and resolve of the Filipino people to continue their fight. Additionally, the document recalls the Cavite Mutiny of 1872, a significant event that led to the execution of three Filipino priests, which are Jose Burgos, Mariano Gomez, and Jacinto Zamora. So these priests were innocent victims of the schemes of religious orders, and their death highlighted the oppressive nature of Spanish rule. So the mutiny and the subsequent executions are remembered as pivotal moments that inspired the revolution.
Also, the Proclamation of Independence invokes that the established republic would be led under the dictatorship of Emilio Aguinaldo. The first mention was at the very beginning of the proclamation, like it stated this passage. So, this passage demonstrates the significant event in Philippine history that was on June 12, 1898 in the town of Cavite Viejo in the province of Cavite. So, on that day, June 12, later became known as the official day of the Proclamation of Philippine Independence, and also this proclamation was made under the authority of Don Emilio Aguinaldo Infami, the leader and dictator at that time. The same was repeated toward the last part of the proclamation. It states this passage. So, this statement reflects a formal recognition of Emilio Aguinaldo as the leader of the newly independent Philippine nation. It highlights the people's approval and confirmation of his leadership, acknowledging the orders he has given as the head of the government. The people view Aguinaldo as a leader chosen by God despite his humble background to bring freedom and redemption to the Filipino people. This belief is strengthened by the prophetic words of Dr. Jose Rizal, who, before his execution, expressed hope for the nation's liberation from Spanish rule. So Rizal's verses are seen as a prediction that Aguinaldo would be the one to lead the country out of oppression and into independence. The passage emphasizes that the nation is beginning its new life of freedom with Aguinaldo as its rightful leader, fulfilling Rizal's vision of a free Philippines. Another detail in the proclamation that is worth looking at is its explanation on the Philippine flag that was first waved on the same day. So the document explained this. So this often overlooked detail reveals much about the historically accurate meaning behind the most widely known national symbol in the Philippines.
So the passage describes the elements and symbolism of the Philippine flag adopted during the country's fight for independence. It starts by noting that the new nation would keep using the same flag that had been used before. So this flag is rich in meaning. So the white triangle on the flag represents the Katipunan Society, a revolutionary group that inspired people to fight for independence. So the three stars on the flag stand for the main islands of the Philippines, which are Luzon, Mindanao, and Panay, where the revolution first began. So the sun on the flag symbolizes the progress and the development of the nation, with its 8 rays representing the 8 provinces: Manila, Cavite, Bulacan, Pampanga, Nueva Ecija, Bataan, Laguna, and Batangas that were among the first to fight against Spanish rule. Finally, the flag's colors, blue, red, and white, are borrowed from the American flag to show gratitude for the support and protection provided by the United States during the struggle for freedom. Now, let's talk about the analysis of the Proclamation of the Philippine Independence. So, the Declaration of Philippine Independence, while a significant historical document, leaves out some important aspects of the Philippine Revolution. It reflects the widespread revolutionary feelings of the time, such as the mistreatment by friars, racial discrimination, and unfairness in the legal system. However, it does not address the land and agrarian crisis, which was a major problem for Filipino peasants. So, historian Teodoro Ogancillo described the revolution as an agrarian struggle focusing on the peasants' demand for land ownership. So leaders like Emilio Aguinaldo, Ambrosio Rianzares Bautista, and Felipe Bencamino, who were also landowners, might have either overlooked or intentionally ignored these agrarian issues. So furthermore, the Treaty of Paris signed on December 10, 1898 sold the Philippines to the United States for $20 million, which undermined Philippine independence and led to the Philippine-American War. So the declaration highlights key events such as the execution of Gomburza, the Cavite Mutiny of 1872, and the martyrdom of Jose Rizal to give historical context to the struggle for independence. However, it only briefly mentions the Katipunan, the group that started the revolutionary movement, and omits its founders like Andres Bonifacio. So this might reflect the rivalry between Aguinaldo's Magdalo faction and Bonifacio's Magdiwang faction. So the document does provide a detailed account of the war led by Aguinaldo's forces against the United States, showing the significance of the conflict and their fight for independence. So, in conclusion, when looking at historical records and documents like the Proclamation of Independence, it's important to remember that these documents are often shaped by the politics and biases of those in power. So, the people who create and maintain these records may choose to highlight certain details while leaving out others, reflecting their own viewpoints and interests. As a result, these official records may not always give us a complete or unbiased picture of historical events. Historians must carefully examine these documents, keeping in mind the political and social context in which they were created. This means understanding who wrote the document, why it was written, and what they hope to achieve with it. To get a clearer and more balanced view of history, it's crucial to look at various primary sources and pieces of evidence. By studying multiple sources and comparing them, historians can better understand the full story behind historical events, leading to a richer and more accurate picture of the past.